Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again. 4 days in a row of videos. It is a new record perhaps, and of those 4 days, 3 of those days, including today, are going to be a squatting movement. Now, traditionally speaking in the past, I've never really liked squatting 3 times per week. I've found that over time, it really beats up my knees and gets them feeling quite sore. I'm hoping that's not the case anymore. Number one, because of the volume, hopefully should be in check with the intensities to prevent that, but also because a while ago, I had some issues with my knees caving in on heavier sets. I've really been trying to work on pushing my knees out. I think I've been a really good job maintaining that, so hoping that that's going to alleviate some of the knee issues I've had in the past. Now, even though I've only really liked to squat twice per week or train squats twice per week, I would still do 3 movements per week. So I usually work 2 movements in on one day. So it's not a matter of doing 3 movements, it's just 3 days just has always been tough for me traditionally, so we'll see how that goes going forward. It'll be something to keep my eye on. Overall, it felt pretty good, and I think that's one of the things that I like about, again, this transitional phase, which you guys have been seeing over the past couple of days, is the workload's light, the RPEs are somewhat light, so that way it's not killing me. I know it's going to get tougher, but hopefully that ramp is somewhat smooth, and again, being RPE-based work, if I'm feeling really beat up, I can either scale down the RPEs or just put in what I felt was heavy for that day, or again, use the fatigue that you guys can probably see on the spreadsheet that I'm probably flashing on the screen at some point at the very top. You see a couple of abbreviations, and that's for benching, squatting, and pulling movements, and you can set your fatigue based off of the day, and what that's going to alter is a couple things. It could potentially change the actual load used, it could change the volume used, or it could use a combination of both, so change both. So both increase and decrease the load, all while increasing or decreasing the potential amount of volume you're doing with that load. So there's a lot of ways around this to make sure that you aren't burning yourself out necessarily, which is something that I'm definitely going to have to use, again, as I fully get into this whole program. But overall, high bar squats went well, and things are feeling pretty good in that regard. From there, I moved on to Romanian deadlifts, and this is an area of some contention from the last video. Some people said I was doing Romanian deadlifts, even though I said stiff-legged deadlifts. And it's really interesting because if you go on the internet and look at different varying opinions of this, depending on who you watch and who you see, there doesn't seem to be a general consensus of what an RDL or what an SLDL is. So there's a lot of different varyings of opinions. I'm going to work on this a little bit going forward. My man, Brendan from Aesthetic Strength, who I'm a big fan of, which if you haven't checked out his channel, I will link it. I've been trying to get him to make a video for me for probably about a year or so now at least. He has a ton of great tutorials out there. He mentioned something with my hip hinge, which could help my deadlift, and I definitely agree that it probably could. So Brendan, help me out, man. Make me a video, preferably on my channel, or make one on yours because I'm subscribed and watch all yours anyways. But check his videos out if you haven't already. But I'm still going to play around with this, and a lot of it has to do with my mobility, my lower back, and extending it and getting that right kind of hinge. And it's something I'm going to work on. So I'm going to say RDLs or stiff-legged deadlifts. Just know that I'm trying to target my hamstrings. Let's just leave it at that for now until I figure my shit out. But I appreciate you guys keeping me honest with those. And then finally finish it off with some feet up bench press, or Larson presses, if you will. A couple of sets of 6 and RPE 6. I use 105, which is 5 kg up from earlier in the week when I did it on day 1. This felt really good, and I'm looking forward to day 5 and finishing the first week, and hopefully you guys are too, because you'll get another video tomorrow to make it 5 for 5. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching, and stay big.